This morning, we're going to take a ride down to San Clemente, one of the biggest car shows and bike shows. It happens every weekend down in San Clemente at one of their outlet malls. Take you along for the ride. That's a big ass pothole. Hot this morning, actually. Gets up quick. It's a long ride down the I-5 this morning. Not exactly the most exciting road in America unless you like seeing lots of cars. There'll be some cool stuff to see once we hit San Clemente. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's Monterey Car Week, so I bet some of like the typical, extremely cool stuff is going to be not here this week. However, you never know. I think I saw a post that one of the niche hyper supercar brands is showing off 2 of their vehicles this weekend. So you get some pretty cool stuff. I know like a week ago, one of the crazier model Bugattis was apparently being shown off. Supra. This is the auto transmission. So the Mark V. That was a lot of fun. I really do miss that car. I did some stupid shit to it in terms of modding it. Like I put some lowering springs on it and really obnoxious exhaust, which in retrospect probably should have done a lot more research and found an exhaust that didn't fucking quite make my ears ring, even with the valve closed. After a few years of owning a Supra and doing some drag racing, so fortunately where I used to live in South Carolina, there was a pretty close by drag strip, so I got into drag racing, and I think once I hit my like personal goal, which was a 10-second quarter mile in terms of drag racing, I kind of dropped it, even though that platform is capable of well beyond that. There are people running 8s, 7s, I bet. B58 engine is quite something if you have the money to spend on it. I traded that in and got a C8 Corvette base model. God knows I could not get an allocation for anything like a Z06. I didn't really want the E-Ray. I drove a C8 Corvette for a while, and while like the vehicle is really well built and the interior experience is great, it just didn't have the. It was a slower car than my modded Supra, so it got really old pretty quickly. I even tried doing a few things to the C8, which in retrospect is also like modding cars is a dangerous game to play. You do not necessarily get more enjoyment out of it, and your bank account certainly doesn't enjoy it. So yeah, before I moved out to California, I downsized, I offloaded all my cars just to make it easier and make the move out here less stressful. So now, a year after moving here, I've picked up this thing so that I can have some fun again and not show up to car meets on just a base model Toyota daily. Which I know for some people a daily can be something special, but I can assure you my daily is not special. This motorcycle is quite special to me. Riding through the south side of Irvine with the Mini. Most of the way is going to be on the I-5. Got your cyber trucks and your Teslas everywhere out here. Video soon, doing a ride down the PCH. I think what I'd like to record is a ride down the PCH going to San Diego, because the ride up the PCH, I took a little bit of that last weekend from Orange County up towards LA a bit. Some parts of it are nice, but other parts you're just sitting in traffic, or you're sitting in some of the South Coast cities not really a sight to behold. I'm sure it gets really good once you get up through Los Angeles and on to the north. I think the really great views of the PCH are north of Los Angeles and then south of Orange County too. I gotta get different mirrors for this bike. My mirrors keep rotating and it's really annoying. So my right side mirror has rotated up slightly, so I can't see anything behind me. There we go. Just a problem that can be solved with a little bit of Loctite retaining compound to like fill in a gap, or if I just straight up need a new different set of mirrors. Let's take a look, because I mean these are metal on metal contact mirrors, so in my mind a little bit of retaining compound probably would work to seal the gap a little bit. However, that would make the mirrors not be able to rotate hardly at all. So I'm not sure. The verdict is not in on that yet. Slightly bigger mirrors would be nice too. They're kind of a little small. However, they do work. First show I bring this bike to where there's a pretty decent amount of bikers at it. Most of the car meets that I've pulled up to have been a lot more just your typical tuner, or just easy to afford type of cars. Been to many shows with a lot of diversity. The shows that I went to, not even really shows, the car meets that I went to have been largely Mustangs, BMWs, Lexus, and I think one show you had a bit more Corvettes and different types of vehicles to get your base sets building. I did see a pretty cool MR2 that was set up with some sound system parts. Since you don't have the engine in the front, he put all of his equipment in the front of the car with some LEDs and speakers. Really nice. I think I have a picture or a video of it I can show. I was thinking about an MR2, but I've never sat in one. Like I mentioned in the last video, I'm pretty tall. A lot of your drop top type of cars I could not fit into. The C8 Corvette was interesting when I had that because you could take the roof off, and I think I barely fit the C8 Corvette. At least I did not find it to be like a car I had tons of extra headroom in. The Supra I had more headroom. I really wish with the A90 Supra they did the same target top situation they did with the A80, because actually, unironically, if the A90 Supra had a target top, I would not have sold it. There's no shot. That car was efficient on gas, and it was incredibly tunable. I think the only issue I had with that car was the water pump blew up on it, and I don't even think I really even had like 35,000 miles on it yet, and the water pump blew up, and that pissed me off. I was like, this is a typical BMW problem. So this engine's gonna have typical BMW bullshit. Whether or not that's actually true remains to be seen. I don't know how many people have really high mileage on A90 Supras yet. That color red they put on the Model Y. It's a good color red. I think they probably use that color red on Model 3s and Model S's too. It's a good color. Too often do automakers choose the most boring silver, white, and black color scheme to save money. I need some green, I need some bright blue, I need some yellow. Don't get me wrong, I like black. I mean, look at my bike, my outfit. I have no vendetta against black. Multiple variations of silver and gray. Come on, man. Be for real. The world needs a bit more color than that. In fact, speaking more to motorcycles, when I went to the Indian dealer to have them look this bike over after I bought it, they have a really nice, I think it's a Scout 101. Really good ruby red paint with a bunch of flake in it. Sick. I'm very happy with my matte black bike, but out of all the colors they had sitting there in their dealership, that red was by far my favorite. I'm more partial to blue colors, but I've owned a red car. The C8 Corvette I had was red. I think red is a color I'd like to keep dedicated to Ferraris. Even though I'm not going to probably own one of those unless I come up with some crazy shit later in life that makes me a whole bunch of money. Who knows? My day job is in engineering. Never know. Especially today. I feel like in certain disciplines of engineering, if you have an idea, you can far more easily act on it and make it today than in any time in my lifetime, I'd say. It depends. I mean, maybe there's some areas where that's not true, but it's a crazy world we live in right now. I got 5 miles till my exit. Getting here a little bit later than I wanted. Hopefully there's still a spot along the motorcycles in the car show that I can pull off into. When I used to live on the East Coast, I would go occasionally to Caffeine and Octane, which is a huge car show for me in Atlanta. And you had to show up early to be able to park in, I guess what you call the show space. Yet. If they will care that I showed up late to the Cars and Coffee. San Clemente app. I think the San Clemente show is probably one of the nicest ones, probably just due to its proximity to Newport Beach. There's a nice one in LA County. I need to find it still. I haven't not been up to LA for their Saturday morning or Sunday morning Cars and Coffee yet. Getting closer to the ocean, you can tell. Just smell it. Because I'm late, probably not going to see a whole lot of interesting stuff on the road to get there, because everybody's already there. like doing parasailing over the Cars and Coffee. Interesting. How the fuck are they doing that? Fucking wonder. Lotus. I wonder if the cars like that leaving this way means they're not letting more people in. Says lot full. Question is finding a good spot. There we go. Not even difficult. Easiest parking job of my life. Yeah, we got tons of really nice stuff out here. Not a whole lot of Indians. I think I saw one. I'm surprised. Actually. it is Sport Bike Central. Almost bought that. CBR 650. Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff. But thanks for coming along for the ride. And yeah, gonna check out the show, take some pictures, and I'll catch you next time.